Home to 37 million people, Tokyo is the world's largest city. It is a city of contrast. Bustling city streets with loud music and neons juxtaposed to peaceful Zen temples. Overflowing with people, yet so friendly, clean, and hardly any crime. Everything is efficient and works on time. I fell in love with the city in 2017, so I came back for a month to see what it was like to live here. I slowly explored each part of the city to give you some insight on the best places to see on your tour of Tokyo. In part 1, I take you to Tokyo Skytree, Asakusa, Ueno, and Akihabara, and here's how it went. Good morning, guys, and welcome to Tokyo, Japan, the largest city on Earth. There's 37 million people living in this metropolitan area, and it's just one of the most massive cities. So I've decided to come to Tokyo and kind of live here for about a month to be able to really understand what it's like to live here in Tokyo and to see everything. I really wanted to spend a lot of time so I could take it slow and really get to know the city on a deeper level. I was last here in 2017 and I only had 3 or 4 days to explore the city, and so it was just like a whirlwind of a trip. So really excited to be back here, and I just love massive cities. You can never get bored. There's always so much going on. So anyways, I've already been here about 2 weeks, so I've been slowly just exploring different neighborhoods and getting to know some of the areas that I'm staying. So I'm staying in the Asakusa area, which is kind of near a little bit more like the historic center of Tokyo. We have the Sensoji Buddhist temple just a couple blocks from here, and then from my rooftop here, it's a little bit sunny over there, but we can see the Tokyo Skytree, which is the tallest building in Japan and the 3rd tallest structure in the world. So we just have this beautiful view. My hotel here, we're right along the river. So this morning, I kind of want to show you a little bit of this area of Asakusa, the Skytree, the old temple, and then we're going to kind of just wander through town a little bit through Ueno, and then ultimately making it to Akihabara for the evening, which is kind of like the anime electric city of Tokyo. So yeah, massive place. I'm overwhelmed trying to show you guys all of this in a video, but let's start by crossing the river here and heading over to the Tokyo Skytree to start the day. Where I'm staying in Asakusa, you cross over the Sumida River here, and you have this really interesting skyline of Tokyo. You have the Tokyo Skytree, but then right in front you have the Asahi headquarters here, which is one of the major beer brewing companies in Japan, and there's this golden flame that just kind of has a really interesting look to it. But so crossing the river here, it's kind of fun. You can watch some boats go up and down this little river. So we're now in Sumida, and from here we'll just walk a little bit more along the river and make it to the Skytree. Just crossed the Sumida River and walked along it a little bit, and now there's this nice little canalway that leads you right to the Tokyo Skytree, although we're looking right into the sun, so it's hard to see the tower from here. But along here there's a couple little cafes and restaurants. It's pretty quiet now because it's really early in the morning, but I might see if there's a coffee shop to get some coffee as we keep walking along the canal to the Skytree. Just made it to the base of the Tokyo Skytree here, which is the 3rd tallest structure in the entire world, behind the Burj Khalifa and the Merdeka Tower, which is a new tower built in Malaysia only within the last year. So for a while it was the 2nd tallest structure in the world, and it was completed in 2011, so just a year after the Burj Khalifa. And it stands at about 2,080 feet tall. It is primarily like a telecommunications building, and it's kind of in this like older part of the city here. There's not a lot of other skyscrapers. It's so much taller than everything around here that it can service a lot of the Tokyo metropolitan area, just because of how much it towers over everything else. And then at the top you have a couple like observation decks, so you can go up there. It's about $20 to go up there, so I don't know if I'm going to go up there on this trip, but that is an option if you want to go up there. And then on the ground floor here, there's like a mall, there's an aquarium, there's some hotels, and so there's a lot of like shopping and other things that you can do down here. Again, it's still pretty early in the morning. I wanted to get up and beat the heat, so it's only about like 7:30, so not too much is open, but I might head into the mall just a little bit to show you guys that. And you can go up on a couple levels here to get some views. So let's check out the mall beneath the Tokyo tree. So unfortunately the mall doesn't open for another 2 hours, so I won't be able to show you guys the inside of the mall, but it's a mall. There's lots of shops. Again, there's like an aquarium, coffee shops, there's a food court. But from the outside here, I can take you up the stairs and show you the kind of like open plaza that's up on the 3rd or 4th floor. That gives you a little bit of like an elevated view overlooking the neighborhood here. So let's head up these stairs. I've just made it up the stairs here, and now you're on top of the mall, and there's just kind of like this open plaza roof. There's some like outdoor dining and stuff over there, and you're elevated up above the neighborhood here, so you can kind of look out over some of the apartment buildings, and then you're right at the base of the Sky Tree, so you can just look straight up at the Sky Tree. And then it's from here that you would enter the main entrance there and go up to the top of the Sky Tree. So again, it's too early now, so like a lot of these things aren't open, which is unfortunate too, because there's this really cool illustrated map like right inside that you can look at for free, and it just has this really fun, quirky little style to it, and I wish I could show you. Yeah, that's about it for the Tokyo Sky Tree area. I'm gonna head back to where I started and check out some of like the more traditional old temples there. So let's head back over the river and check that out. Change, and I know I'm leaving, trying to find out what I want, but it slipped away. Didn't know how much I thought of you. It will never change, no matter what you do. I have just crossed back over the Sumida River here, and I'm back in Asakusa, which is where I started, which is where I'm staying, right along the river here. And Asakusa is kind of like the old town of Tokyo. I mean, there's so many different regions of Tokyo, but this has a little bit more of like an older traditional feel. It has the Sensoji Temple, which is the oldest temple here in Tokyo. And then there's a bunch of just traditional craft shops and souvenir shops, and you have all of these shopping streets that are just like covered, and so there's all these different stalls that you can check out. Then you have these rickshaws that are like hand pulled in like a traditional way, where they'll just like pull you through the streets, and then you'll see lots of Japanese tourists wearing kimonos, walking around, checking out the temples, checking out the shops. So it's a very fun kind of like traditional area to just walk around and get a sense for like an older Tokyo. So we'll walk around some of the shopping streets and then make our way to the Sensoji Temple. So let's head in. Right as we're entering Asakusa here, you're greeted by the Kamina Riman Gate, or the Thunder Gate, which is this huge gate. It was originally built in about 900 AD, and it has this huge red lantern on it, and then on both sides you have some old like Buddhist deities. You have the wind god and the thunder god, and then through the gate it leads you down the Nakamise Street, which is this old traditional shopping street that's about 200 meters long, that takes you to the second gate, which will lead you then into the Sensoji Temple. So yeah, let's head through the gate here and enter the Asakusa Old Town. So I've just walked down the Nakamise Street, and it's still only about 9:30 in the morning, so only some of the shops were starting to open, but also it was already starting to get pretty crowded, so I'm sure it's just going to get more crowded with tourists through the day. And we've made it to the second temple gate, the Hozomon Gate, which was built in 1645. And this is just, it's like twice as high as the first gate. It's 2-storied, and you again have some nice lanterns at the bottom. You have a couple statues on the sides here. And then from here, you're starting to see the 5-story pagoda next to it. And then we'll walk through the Hozomon to make it to the main Sensoji temple. So yeah, let's head through and check out the rest of the complex. From that second gate, as you walk towards the Sensoji temple, there's this little plaza here, and people are shaking to get these sticks that give you a fortune. And if it's a good fortune, you take it home. If it's a bad fortune, you actually tie it to the string there and leave it there. And then there's also this place to buy incense, and then you put it in this pan there, and then people are bathing themselves in the incense before heading into the temple. And so right behind me is the Sensoji temple, and it was built in 645. It's one of the oldest, most colorful, and most popular temples here in Tokyo. So let's head in and see what it looks like on the inside. So that was the Sensoji temple, and just very beautiful interior. Just have these really high ceilings, and then on the ceiling there's just some beautiful old paintings. And then at the front there's a little shrine here, and it's a certain sect of Buddhism, although it doesn't have like a big Buddha like you usually see in some of the other Buddhist temples I've been in throughout Asia. It has all of this like Japanese script, and the actual front of the shrine is kind of walled off there, but right as you face it, there's a place to like give your offerings. So people are like throwing coins in there and doing some prayers. So I'm just leaving the temple now and just gonna explore a little bit of the complex. Again, there's this other 5-story pagoda shrine here that just is really cool to look at. Then there's some gardens around here, and then there's some shops. So just gonna kind of like walk around the Asakusa area, just seeing a little bit more of the temple area and yeah, some of like the shopping streets that surround here. So let's go check it out. Just leaving the Sensoji temple complex area here, and I'm just going to kind of wander around these back streets of Asakusa. Again, it's like a very touristy area, so you have a lot of touristy shops, you have a lot of like restaurants, cafes. It's still pretty early, so some things are still just kind of opening up, but then you have all of these like covered walking streets with a lot of cool shops. So I'm just going to take you guys on a quick little walking tour through here on some of the back streets of Asakusa. as we're leaving Asakusa to the west here towards Ueno, there's this one store called Don Quijote, and there's tons of them all throughout Japan and a lot of like Asia, and it's just such a fun experience to go in. And you'll see like a big blue and yellow penguin, and you'll go in and there'll be like fun like sounds, and it's such an experience just walking through the store there and just seeing all the different types of products and all of the Japanese writing and all the signs and all the sale signs all around. So let's check out Don Quijote on our way out of Asakusa. So fun walking around Don Quijote's. Again, just the sound, and it's just like sensory overload, all these colors, and I have no idea what's going on half the time. It's so fun, and there's tons of them all throughout Tokyo and all throughout Japan, so I just always love going in there. And you can just get like really cheap food, really cheap snacks and everything. So anyways, let's head west out of Asakusa here, and we're gonna slowly make our way to Ueno. So it was just about a mile walk from Asakusa to the Ueno area, and I've just arrived, and here in Ueno we have like a major transportation hub. So there's like a big train station, and then just behind the train station there's Ueno Park, which has like the Tokyo Zoo, and there's some cool museums back there and some ponds. And then coming from Ueno Station, if you head out one of these ways, you have this like walking street area with lots of cool shops called Ameyoko. And so there's a lot of cool like street food and yeah, just cool shopping streets there that kind of go along the train line. So it's a very cool place to check out, especially at night. But again, we're here during the middle of the day. So I'm gonna head through Ueno Station here and go into Ueno Park and see what that looks like. I've just entered the Ueno Park behind the station here, and as I mentioned, there's a zoo, and it's famous for its panda exhibit, and it was only 600 yen, which is like $4 to enter the zoo. So I'm gonna check out the zoo for a couple hours here and hopefully see some pandas. Just finished the east half of the zoo here, and we saw some elephants, some monkeys, a tiger, the bear, some gorillas, and then we've just come over the Aesop Bridge, and we have this beautiful view looking out over the huge pond that has tons of lily pads all throughout here, and then you can see Ueno off in the distance here, and we're gonna head over to this side, and this is where the panda is. So let's keep checking out the zoo. That was a bit anticlimactic because the panda was kind of like sleeping in the far corner, so you could barely see it. But that was just the female panda There's still the male panda over here, so let's see if he's awake, or at least you can view him. So the male panda was also taking a nap, and he was also kind of in the back, but there were a couple times where he like adjusted himself in his sleep, and you could like see his face for just a second, and everyone like freaked out. But pretty glad I came on a weekday, because on the weekends you can wait like up to an hour in line just to like glimpse these pandas, so they're super rare. Anyways, cool to see the pandas here. There's more to see in the zoo, but I think I'm gonna head out of the zoo, check out a little bit more of Ueno Park, and then yeah, head out to the town of Ueno. I have just left the Ueno Zoo. Pretty cool to see all the animals there. And right as you're leaving here out of the Benten Gate, if you turn to the right, there's the Benten Do Shrine, which is on this little island surrounded by these massive lotus flowers in this lotus pond. So yeah, let's check out this shrine on the edge of Ueno Park. That was the Benten Do Shrine, and the one thing I just love about Tokyo is the contrast of like really crazy busy city, and then you'll just go into like a little shrine like that, and they're playing nature sounds, and it's just so peaceful, so calm, and you're surrounded by this massive lotus pond, but then you can see the crazy busy city skyline off in the distance. So anyways, that's about it for Ueno Park. I'm going to head out again to the streets of Ueno and go to the Amayoko area, which is the walking streets and food streets, and find some food and show you guys some of the walking streets there. So let's head out of the park and check out Ueno. I've just made it to Amayoko Street, which is a series of these like walking streets. There's a bunch of restaurants, there's shops, there's markets, and it's a great place to have some street food. You can also sit down at these little like street side cafes, but there's just like lots of lights, lots of neons, and yeah, it's a very cool place. There's a lot to kind of like walk around and explore. It's these narrow little alleys, and you're like right beneath the trains, so the train lines are just running up and down, so you'll hear them as you're sitting here having lunch or dinner beneath the trains. So I'm getting pretty hungry, so let's try to find a little place to have a snack and try some izakaya, which is, it's almost like a tapas, Japanese tapas. You order a lot of little things. So there's lots of cute little street places around here, so let's try to find some food. Here on Amayoko Street, I found this little like street side restaurant where you sit outside on the street, you can watch people walking by, and it's an izakaya place, so you order, it's kind of like a tapas. I ordered some chicken skewers and like a little soup, and so you can kind of just like snack your way through. So it's a great place to come with friends, you can just kind of sample a bunch of different things. around this Ueno area, there's just tons of these really cool walking streets. There's tons of like open air shops here. You can get like seafood, you can get vegetables, fruits, tons of restaurants. There's like pharmacies, and it's just a really fun, vibrant place to walk around, and it's really fun to photograph. You're like right underneath the train tracks here, and there's just so much like retro signage and lots of cool neons. So especially if you come here at night, it just has such a cool electric energy to it. So I'm just gonna give you guys a little bit of a walking tour, strolling around Ueno here. That's about the end of the walking streets of Ueno. We've come to the southern part of it, and if we keep following the train tracks here, it'll eventually take us to Akihabara, which is probably just about 3/4 of a mile down along the train tracks here. But just exploring the back streets of Ueno is just so much fun. It's so colorful, so vibrant, so much going on, and there's so many walking streets. You don't have to worry about any traffic, but the streets are just packed with people, and it's just so fun. There's so many cool shops to check out and explore, so definitely worth just spending like an afternoon wandering, ducking in and out of cool like vintage shops and cool like denim shops, and then again you just keep hearing the train go overhead, and it just has this like very urban, grungy vibe. So anyways, let's keep walking. We'll make it to Akihabara along the train tracks here. So I've just made it to Akihabara, and this is known as the Electric City of Tokyo, and it's also the anime capital. So as you're walking around here, there's tons of these like really nerdy shops where you can buy anime characters. There's arcade games, there's a lot of like electronic shops, there's a bunch of these maid cafes with these like cute girls dressed up that can like serve you coffees and stuff. And so it's just a really fun, vibrant place, especially into the evening a little bit, because once like the neons are on and all of the billboards are lit up, it's really cool. And around the city streets here, we just have these like huge billboards that have anime advertisements all on them. And so it's a really fun place just to walk around. Hopefully I'll walk around Akihabara here, show you a little bit of the shops, duck our head into a couple of like the toy shops and the electronic shops, and be able to show you guys a little bit of the energy of the electric city of Akihabara here. Right here near the beginning of the Akihabara street, there's like a vending machine that sells Pokemon cards, and then you can go inside and there's like anime figures in there. So let's check out this shop.
It will never change, and I know I'm leaving, trying to find out what I want, but it slipped away. You don't know how much I thought of you. It will never change, no matter what you do.
All throughout Tokyo, but especially here in Akihabara, you have these gacha machines, which are just basically like vending machines or bubblegum machines where you pop in a couple coins and then you'll get like a random toy in a case, and there's like entire shops just dedicated to these gacha machines.
I could let this pass by. Tonight I'm leaving for Tokyo, longing for your avenues. I cannot get tired of you. Walking on the streets again, feeling lonely and blue. Tokyo, Tokyo. We'll be
right here is the Taito Station, which is one of the main arcade buildings here, and there's usually like tons and tons of floors. The first floor is one of those claw games, and then as you go up different floors, there's like different arcade games. So let's head in and check out some of the floors.
See the light. It will never change, and I know I'm leaving, trying to find out what I want, but it slipped away. Didn't know how much I thought of you. It will never change, no matter what you do. Just let me come home and let me stay. I could let it pass, but not tonight. Got a lot I need to process. Should I stay or should I go there? Tokyo, longing for your avenues. I cannot get tired of you. Walking on the streets again, feeling lonely and blue. Tokyo.
It's always super fun going to those arcades, and actually playing them is pretty fun. It's usually like only 100 yen, which is like 75 cents to play the games, and some of those kids are just so good whizzing across the board on like those music games. So anyways, heading back out here and just gonna walk around Akihabara a little bit more and just check out all the electronic signs and neon boards and everything. So let's walk around.
I am so addicted to you.
I've just stepped into the big camera because I just think this store is so interesting. It's a big electronics store, so you have like laptops, phones, cameras, appliances, but it's just so fun walking around and seeing all these like techie gadgets and hearing all this noise, and there's just like so much chaos everywhere to me because I don't understand the language, so I just like all the price tags and everything. It's just so crazy to walk around here and just like overstimulating.
残念ながら後り世界の領域によりストックホルムの東京への郵便機することを選択しました。
Just made it to Akihabara train station here, which is kind of like the central hub of the area, and I think right when you walk through the train station here under the line, it just has this like really electric, futuristic look. So check out this view. So that's about it for part one of the Tokyo series. Again, Tokyo is so massive and it's so like pocketed. There's like little bits and pieces everywhere. So today was just seeing Tokyo Tree, Asakusa and the Sensoji Temple, Ueno, the zoo, and then walking down to Akihabara. And today I just walked everywhere. There's a really efficient train system that can take you just about anywhere in the city for like less than $2. But today I just wanted to do a walking tour, and then from here we can actually make it to about Tokyo Central Station, which is where I'm going to start the next video, and we'll do like the fish market, we'll do the Imperial Palace, we'll do Ginza, a high-end shopping district,
and then we'll do like Tokyo Tower and Roppongi Hills. So that'll be like another walking tour for part 2 of Tokyo. And then again, there's so much more even beyond that. Like we still need to go to Shinjuku and Shibuya and a bunch of other like really cool places. But massive city, really just so much fun, so much energy. There's just so many things to do, and really glad I'm spending like a whole month here so I can kind of take it slow, exploring different pockets and really getting to know as much of Tokyo as I can. So yeah, that's about it for tonight. I'm gonna go, there's a ramen place near here that I love that you order by a vending machine and then you sit at a little counter, and I'll see you guys next time when we do another tour of Tokyo. See you then.
Tokyo.